Hi, welcome back to this series. You must have watched the previous video on mux coding using switch level and gate level modeling. If not, do check it out. We shall see how to write mux code using data flow and behavior level coding style in this video. We saw that in gate level modeling, we have to describe the circuit in terms of logic gates and their interconnections. Just for a 4 to 1 mux, we had to use a minimum of 7 gates. Imagine how many gates it would take to describe a simple combinational circuit with say a 32 to 1 mux. So, Verilog offers a coding style in which instead of describing the circuit in terms of gates, you can just mention the way the data flows in your circuit. You need to specify wiring connections that you would make to get your circuit functionality. You can use logical expressions like or, not, and instead of making gate instantiations. This will make writing the code simpler. But then, remember, you will specify wiring connections that are always connected, called the continuous assignments or the assign statements. You can't mention connections which are triggered when there is a change in another signal, like clock-based assignments, by using this data flow modeling style. Now, let's see how to write the code for mux using data flow modeling. But before that, I'll introduce you to a concept called conditional assignments, as we will be using this in our code. So if you want to do something like this, if a certain condition is true, assign out a signal 1, and if not, assign out signal 2. Then the data flow modeling expression for this is as follows: assign out equal to the condition question mark signal 1 colon signal 2, where if the condition is true, signal 1 is executed, and if it is false, signal 2 is executed. So out is assigned signal 1 when the condition is true, and it is assigned signal 2 if the condition is false. The synthesis output for this data flow modeling expression would be a mux, with the condition being the select line, and when it is 0, signal 2 is connected to the output, and when it is 1, signal 1 is selected to be connected to the output. Let's go into coding the mux on our EDA playground. Let's write the code for our 4:1 mux using data flow modeling on our EDA playground. The input ports for the mux would be I0, I1, I2 and I3. The select would also be an input port, and the output port would be out. For this example, let us use a 2-bit vector for the input, and instead of using S0 and S1, let us keep select line also as a 2-bit vector. So each of the data inputs is a 2-bit vector, and so is the output. Now, as we are writing the data flow modeling style, we need to use assignment statement to connect the output to the inputs conditionally. Let us use our conditional assignment operation. Look at this diagram of the mux. When select is 0, that is the LSB bit, you will either have I0 or I2 as your output. That is the LSB bit of your select is 1. Your output will either be I1 or I3 depending on the value of cell 1. So when cell 1 is 0, you will get I1, and when cell 1 is 1, you will get I3. Let us code this portion. So when cell 0 is 1, you would get I1 or I3 based on cell 1. When cell 1 is 1, you will get I3, else you will get I1. When select 0 is 0, you will get I0 or I2 based on select 1. When select 1 is 1, you will get I2. When select 1 is 0, you will get I0. So this is the else portion of your select 0. When select 0 is 0, you would come to this portion after the colon and check for cell 1. If it is 1, you will write I2, and if it is 0, you will write I0. Now that the data flow code is ready, let's write the test bench. To save the time, I have copied the test bench code. I'll paste it here. This time we are using 2-bit vectors for inputs, select line as well as output. And to make the viewing of the output easier, I have given the data 0 to I0, 1 to I1 and so on. And we've changed the select inputs to be 0, 0, 1, 0 and 1, 1. Let us run the code. As you can see, when select is 0, output is 0. Select is 2, output is I2, that is 2. Select is 3, output is I3, that is 3. You can see the same in the waveform as well. Let us see the synthesis schematic for the Mux data flow model. I have run the Mux data flow model code in Vivado and copy pasted the schematic here. As you can see, since we have 3 conditional assignment statements, the synthesis output consists of 3 mux. This part of the assignment statement, which is depending on select 1, where I3 and I1 are selected, is represented by this mux. The second part, which is dependent on select 1, is represented by this mux. And this assignment statement, which depends on select 0, is represented by this mux. As you can see, data flow modeling also requires good understanding of circuit concepts. You couldn't just describe circuit by its algorithm. This flexibility is provided by behavioral level modeling. Here, the model is implemented in terms of algorithm. Coding at behavioral level is similar to writing a code describing a circuit in C language. In this style, procedural blocks are used. A procedural block is like a C program block that you write within braces. The statements within the block gets executed sequentially one after the other. Behavioral coding also allows always blocks that can be awakened when a signal within a sensitivity list changes. This style is mostly used for sequential circuits and complicated combinational circuits. But for completeness, we'll see how to use this method for coding a multiplexer. Let us now write our code using behavioral model in EDA. Let us start writing the Mux 4:1 behavioral code on the EDA playground. As usual, the inputs I0, I1, I2 and I3 are declared as input ports. Select is also an input port and out is an output port. Earlier, we will use always blocks in the behavioral modeling style. Within the always blocks, we'll write our algorithmic description of the circuit. For the mux, you can write its behavior using an if-else if statement or the case statement. Let us use the case statement. So an always block has a sensitivity list that mentions the list of signals upon whose change this always block has to be executed. The signals being select, I0, I1, I2 and I3, the inputs or the select lines. Instead of mentioning all the signals, we have mentioned always at star, and we've used the case statement based on the select. If it is 0, output I0 is assigned to output. If it is 1, I1, if it's 2, I2 and 3, I3. Here the out is not like a fixed wiring connection. It changes whenever any input or select line changes and holds the previous value until next such change in input or the select line. So we need to use a data type that provides storage function. Such a data type is called register. So let us declare out as a register. As a coding rule, you should use reg data type for all signals that are target or in the LHS of statements within always block. As you can see, out is in the LHS of the statements in the always block, so we've declared it as a register. Now that we completed the code, let us get the test bench. We are using the same test bench as before. Let us give the run command. The synthesis schematic for Mux behavioral model is as follows. a 4:1 multiplexer is generated upon synthesis. Now that we've seen all the styles, let's summarize. The gate level modeling is usually used for simple circuits that can be described by using all the gate connections, while the data flow modeling is used for combinational circuits whose gate level representation might be complicated, and behavioral modeling is usually used for sequential and complex combinational circuits that can be described easily by their algorithm. However, gate level modeling gives you full control over the synthesized circuit. As we have seen in the Mux gate level modeling, the required gate level representation and the synthesized output were exactly the same. In behavioral modeling, however, the synthesized design may use more resources. In data flow modeling, we use the continuous assignment statements, and in the behavioral modeling, we use the procedural always blocks. In the next video, I shall take a few frequently asked interview questions on multiplexer. If you have any interesting questions regarding multiplexer, please post it in the comment section. We will try to answer it. And as always, don't forget to like the video if you found it helpful. Thank you.